Vision 2030: How China's Tech Blueprint is Reshaping Global Innovation. For years, the global innovation story was simple. Silicon Valley led, Europe regulated, China manufactured. But that narrative is no longer accurate. According to the World Intellectual Property Organization's Global Innovation Index 2025, China has now entered the top 10 global innovators for the first time, ranking 10th globally, 1st among upper-middle income economies, 5th in innovation output. That is not incremental progress. That is structural transformation, and it is happening under a coordinated national blueprint, one that extends through China's upcoming 15th Five-Year Plan, 2026-2030. The question is no longer whether China can innovate. The question is how its innovation strategy is reshaping global technological power. From factory to innovation engine, China now leads the world in multiple intellectual property metrics. It hosts the largest number of top 100 innovation clusters globally, including the Shenzhen-Hong Kong-Guangzhou cluster, which now ranks first worldwide. It also holds the world's second largest brand value, at $1.81 trillion. That brand valuation figure is particularly telling. It suggests China's global economic footprint is no longer defined solely by low-cost manufacturing, but by intellectual property, design, and technological ecosystems. Innovation is becoming systemic. The AI surge, 200 large models and a trillion yuan industry artificial intelligence is now central to China's industrial policy. Chinese AI companies have developed more than 200 domestic large models. That number signals scale. But scale alone is not strategy. The strategy is integration. Under the National AI Pluses initiative, China is embedding artificial intelligence across advanced manufacturing, smart industrial systems, supply chain management, urban infrastructure, healthcare platforms. By 2025, China's core AI industry exceeded 1 trillion yuan, approximately $142 billion in scale. That figure underscores rapid commercialization. The AI race is often framed as model versus model. China's approach appears more deployment-driven. It is less about headline breakthroughs and more about embedding AI into economic infrastructure. That matters, because AI embedded in logistics, robotics, and industrial automation compounds productivity. The space layer, 203,000 satellites and a mega constellation. While much of the world focuses on AI chips, China is also building orbital infrastructure. Long March rockets have launched clusters of satellites from Hainan province. More strikingly, China has applied to the International Telecommunication Union for frequency and orbital rights for 203,000 satellites. That is not a typo. 203,000 satellites. The plan envisions a mega constellation by 2030 that could support an industrial chain worth 1.2 trillion yuan. Satellite infrastructure underpins global broadband, precision agriculture, disaster response, climate monitoring, defense capabilities. Control of orbital lanes is becoming a strategic resource. Space is no longer symbolic. It is commercial infrastructure. Governance as strategy, global AI leadership. In 2023, President Xi Jinping proposed the Global Artificial Intelligence Governance Initiative. This was followed in July 2025 by the Global AI Governance Action Plan, providing a framework for multilateral cooperation around secure, inclusive, and human-centered AI development. This is geopolitically significant because AI governance is not neutral. Standards determine data flows, algorithm transparency, cross-border digital trade, security norms, ethical compliance requirements. Who writes the rules often shapes the market. China is not only scaling AI capacity, it is participating in defining global frameworks. The financial backbone, R&D at scale. Behind these initiatives is unprecedented financial commitment. In 2025 alone, central state-owned enterprises invested 1.1 trillion yuan in R&D for the fourth consecutive year. 2.5 trillion yuan went into strategic emerging industries. During the 14th Five-Year Plan, 2021-2025, tax and fee reforms totaling approximately 10.5 trillion yuan were implemented to boost enterprise innovation. These numbers matter because innovation is not just about startups. It is about systemic capital allocation. Sustained R&D funding over multiple plan cycles reduces volatility and strengthens institutional continuity. Fundamental science, beyond commercialization. China is also investing in long-horizon scientific missions. Examples include Tianwen-2 asteroid sampling mission, Chang'e 7 lunar water exploration mission. These are not short-term economic projects. They signal capacity in fundamental research and long-term scientific ambition. Major science missions tend to produce spillover technologies, from materials science to communication systems. Historically, fundamental research has been a cornerstone of technological superpower status. The strategic model: integration over isolation. China's next 5 years of scientific and technological development are not framed as isolationist. From satellite constellations to AI chips, the messaging emphasizes addressing global challenges such as climate change, disease control, food security, digital inequality. Whether that narrative translates into balanced international collaboration will depend on geopolitics, but the framing is deliberate. Innovation is being presented as cooperative rather than confrontational. The competitive landscape. Of course, this trajectory unfolds amid US semiconductor restrictions, European digital regulation, global AI security debates, supply chain reconfiguration. The question is whether China's scale, integration model, and state-backed investment can offset external constraints. The numbers suggest resilience, but long-term outcomes will depend on access to advanced chip manufacturing tools, talent retention, international regulatory alignment, domestic economic stability. Innovation ecosystems require both capital and openness. Balancing those will shape the next decade. The broader implication vision. 2030 is not a slogan. It is an industrial roadmap. AI embedded in manufacturing, mega satellite constellations in orbit, trillion yuan R&D pipelines, tax reforms fueling enterprise, fundamental science missions expanding capability. The result is not just technological advancement, it is systemic repositioning. The world's innovation map is becoming multipolar, and China is now firmly inside the top tier. The Global Innovation Index ranking is symbolic. The trillion yuan investments are structural. The satellite filings are strategic. The governance initiatives are diplomatic. Taken together, they describe a country moving from participant to architect in the global innovation system. Whether this becomes competitive friction or cooperative progress will depend on how other powers respond. But one thing is clear. Vision 2030 is not about catching up. It is about shaping what comes next. If you found this deep dive valuable, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more detailed analysis on global tech competition and industrial power shifts. And tell me in the comments, is China building a collaborative innovation ecosystem or a parallel technological order? Let's discuss. If you'd like, I can also create a more confrontational thumbnail due title for higher CTR a US versus China comparison version, or a shorter 10-minute retention-optimized edit. Just let me know the direction you want to take.